I mean, I guess just start with USC. I mean, new to the conference, but I mean, the fact that Ali Badhorst is their leader, like, lend itself a little bit of familiarity.
Yeah, I obviously got to play against her last couple of years and familiar with her game, but everyone's going to develop their game differently, and she's been doing great. Just named as Player of the Week, so it's she's a force out there. But they got a nice team. We got to play them last year at Purdue in preseason play and or pre-conference play, and they're a good team. So they return a lot of their pieces, and they're healthier than they were last year too. So. They command a lot of respect, and they've been beating a lot of good teams, or at least pushing them. And they're RPI top 25. So we got to try to come after them as best we can, and hopefully welcome to the conference in the way we want to. So.
I mean, is this the type of match on that? Do you need a win like this? I mean, just RPI is good, but to have a signature.
Any win always is going to end up helping. At the end of the day, the metrics are the metrics, but you don't get there if you don't get wins. So you're always going to look for having top quality wins, and we got several chances here coming down the stretch, and so you're going to say, yeah, we need all of them. 8-0 would be a nice ending, of course, but everyone's good, and you still see that across conference play, and so it's, again, everyone just demands respect no matter who they are.
Yeah, good chunk of Big Ten play. And just, has the conference been what you thought it might be in its expanded form?
Yeah, I think it is, and we talked about travel at the beginning of the year. That's a thing. You talk about rest and recovery. That's a thing. You only get to play everyone one time. That's a thing too. You got to be able to make those adjustments in game because you don't get to see them again. And a team you might have played at the beginning of the season maybe not as healthy as they are now, and vice versa. So it's just one of those things. You got to handle everyone as best you can whenever you play them, and be ready for every opponent. Making sure we're good with our scouts, making sure we can execute as best we can, and we just keep moving forward.
Christy got drafted, Jess joined a team this past summer. I guess through your 8 years here, how have you seen the pro game develop, and how's that changed?
Yeah, I think a lot more opportunities now. That's for sure. We've gone from 0 pro leagues in the U.S. to 3 in the last couple of years, and so you have that. She's going to play in Puerto Rico Super League, which had a few players go through. Ali Bashnelli being the most recent one. Kyla Swanson was also there too. And I think it's great that there's more opportunities, and Jen, myself, Chris still had opportunities to play pro overseas and have that experience. I like that there's a pro league here in the U.S. now too. That, players can maybe have longer seasons or not overseas anymore. It's pro. Whereas if you're playing pro overseas, you're 8 months out of country. Feeling pretty uncomfortable at certain times of the year. But no, I think it's awesome. This opportunity. Christy definitely deserves it. She's been doing great here for us this whole season.
You mentioned last week that this is maybe the toughest stretch of the season. I mean, academically and athletically, I guess, what does it take mentally for players to stay on top of their game at this time?
Yeah, it's just that you got to stay on top of it mentally, and we talk a lot about making sure you're taking care of all facets of your game. The mentality being a big part of it. Like I said, everyone's good and everyone's fighting for something this time of year, and if you're in that bottom tier, they're still good and they got nothing to lose. If you're in the mid tier, they're fighting for tournament spots, and if in the upper tier, they're fighting for seeds. So you still got to bring your best. You got to bring your best every day in practice, and that's what we ask for. It's not easy to do. If it were easy, everyone would just do it.
Is the 6-2 a one-off, something you'll use the rest of the season, or entirely dependent on Brooke?
It's something we wanted to take a look at. Taylor was doing great in practice, or had been doing great in practice, and you try to figure out how to get your pieces on the floor. And we were spot subbing her for Kari, not necessarily as a middle, but Lainey has the capability of playing middle. So it's just one of those things. We're just moving pieces around based on how we have to figure how to score points. And we felt like against Wisconsin, we wanted to match up a little bit more with size. Obviously, Brooke had something to do with it too, but that's kind of where you find some stuff out too. It's one thing to do it in practice; it's the other thing to actually do it in a game and see how it's performed in the game. And I was happy with a lot of things I saw, and that changes defense just a little bit too. So it's hard because you want more time to get used to it, but your trial runs aren't few and far between. It's not spring ball where we get to throw it out and kind of see it's live and it counts, and we got to make sure we try to get the most out of it. So like what I saw in set 2, didn't like as much as I saw in set 3, and so we just kind of probably end up going with game time decisions from here moving forward.
How tough of a move is that to make maybe at this point of the season when maybe there's a certain rhythm that they've had for a couple of months.
Yeah, again, you kind of see how the match is flowing, and we kind of said before the match we're just going to see how it looks in the 5-1 and how we're passing, and if passing's not great, they're a good serving team. Passing's not great, you still want as many options on the pin as you can, and so we just felt it was time to try it, and worked out great set 2, and like I said, in set 3 maybe not as much, but we still got a good run of points in set 3 too. So. Again, I'm not huge into experimentation this time of year. That's usually safe for pre-conference and spring stuff. But the fact that we were able to do it, based on kind of the health of some of our players and just able to get out there and compete, I was really encouraged by it.
We hear from the football team is they've got a 24-hour rule after wins or losses. How does this team maybe handle a Sunday match that kind of flipped on them?
Yeah, it's always, no one ever likes losing, obviously, and you always. I said right after the match, I said, it's okay to be disappointed, but we got to take whatever lessons you can and keep moving forward with it. And I said there's really a lot of spots in that game that I liked. Similar to when we played Nebraska, a lot of spots in that game that I liked. We just got to do more of it, and that's the hard part, right? And Wisconsin and those types of teams pose different challenges, whether size or they've got maybe some more experience on the floor and whatnot. But you still got to accept whatever challenge is in front of you and try to improve from it. And so it's either we win or we learn, and even when we win, we still want to learn every single time.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.